Hello and welcome back to my channel, Checks, Captures, Threats, and today's video will be going over the Benoni Defence. So, this is part of the Learn the Openings, and this is a black opening. Obviously we did a white opening last time out, so, of the Roy Lopez. Now, this opening is a tactical one, and it's against d4. So if you want to have an opening against d4, just going to take you straight away. This is another viable option. Now, as I'll give you the history as well, this was by someone called Frank Marshall, who about 1927 invented this, and it kind of fell off quite quickly, though it kind of got revamped up in the late 1950s and 60s by people like Mikhail Tal. Now, this is the knight move, and after c4, here this is where we have a few options. Now, normally King's Indian Defence, we push this pawn, and Nimzo Indian, we push this pawn. Though, this defense, we're going to be pushing c5, counter-attacking. Now, the best move here for white is just to push, do not capture. It just leads to many easier places for black to be. Now, the most normal move here is e6, and this is really the Benoni. Now, this is it, and now we're going to all of the ideas now. So, what does this do right now? What is this position actually acting? Now, if we have a little look here, as white, do not capture again. Do not capture any of these pawns, as you'll see this happen, and it's quite a difficult thing to go about. Now, hopefully, you can see here the attack that white has now, and it's very strong. As you see, the pieces are already on the side of black, and are going to be pushing quite aggressive towards black's defensive side. Now, if we have a little look, there is also queenside attack here. You'd always want to be attacking on the queen side as black, but defending on the king side, and it's quite the opposite for white. You'd want to get every piece onto that king side. Now, let's go over the major variations here. So the modern Benoni here is going to be, after this position, knight c3, e takes d5, c takes d5, d6, e4, and then g6. So, what does this do? Now, there's a few ideas here. Obviously, we're looking to Franchetto here, and again, black just needs to develop their pieces positional like, so obviously getting all the pieces multiple times moved just to put them in the right position. So, for example, you can move this knight to d7 and then up to e5, again, also over there, anything like that. Now, what does white want to do? Again, it's a bit difficult. Both good bishops, though. That's the main thing you've got to look at. This is the white colour bishop's probably the worst, even though there's only 2 pawns blocking it. And really, you're looking still to maybe castle king side, but king safety is not really apparent in this for white. You're really looking at just getting a very strong attack. Now, this is what I would prefer as black. This is what I'd say you should play. This is one of the better sides of, you'll see it the most. And also, it's actually good for black, I would say. You're not losing at all, really. And it's actually quite nice because your bishop is now in protecting the king and has got out quite easily. Now, there is also something called the Benko Gambit. Now, this is I would say this is something you don't do without a lot of preparation on it and theory. This is where you play the move b5, and it gets into this whole thing where it's going to be very closed. As you can see, sometimes they might not take it and play stuff like knight f3, and this is where you get d6 and anything like this. Though if they do take, you even play moves like a6, sacrificing it again, or even playing d6 now, and it's going to be quite a closed position. So, I wouldn't recommend this without a lot of theory, but it can definitely throw white off. Now, the check Benoni here. Now, this is very different. So, this is where, after c5 and d5, you now don't play e6, you play e5, trying to go against that aggression here, and trying to really pinpoint that d4 square. Now, again, do not take as white with en passant, as again, you'll have this position where you'll have d5 ready, and you'll have a nice position here. So, e5 here. Again, it's a closed structure, as we'll always have, and we'll almost have a zigzag-like position when you'll be playing stuff like b6, definitely d6. d6, you need to stop this d5 pawn, and you'll obviously be trying to get your knight out to the sides, probably the d7 side here, and this bishop can go out to f5, and this bishop's going to be stuck for quite a time, so I put it on e7, Frenchetto again. Either way here is fine. Now, the last variation we'll be going over here is the old Benoni. So, this is where we play a little bit different without the knight. So, straight away c5 and then d5. And now this is where you can play either e6 or even e5. Now, it doesn't matter which way because they're both called the old Benoni. So, would I say you should do this? Probably not. As the other version, you get the knight out immediately. This kind of leads to a little bit of a difficult lines, I would say. I would play e6 as well in this position, and what you'll see is either moves like e4. This allows e4 as well, which means you can't really play knight 6, as you might have the very aggressive move of e5, and you can even sacrifice his pawn and create such an attack now, and I'm all the way back here as black. Now, you could also play c4 in this position, and pretty much just being the, after this move, now it's just back to the Benoni Defence. But you can also have other moves now, and it just feels a little bit different, as you might have this. It just doesn't feel as good as black. So I would not prefer this for you to try. Obviously, just give it a try if you want. But if I was to say which one was the best, I would say that first variation we went over with the whole modern Benoni, I would say that is by far the best, where you get everything Frenchettoed, everything out, and everything in a perfect position. So, just to finish off here, why or who should play the Benoni? Now, in my opinion, I would say it is people who like sharp and tactical battles, so all the closed positions, and especially counter-attacking chess. If you want to play an opening where you surprise them by immediately, counter-attacking them, immediately throwing yourself out, then I would say either white or black here. Because white counterattacks almost their counter with playing moves like f4, f5, c4, any moves like this. They'll be trying to play that by quite quickly and quite deadly. Now, as black, obviously, it's very slow to start the counterattack. Obviously, you've got to put every piece into that position. But after that, you are all guns ablaze and you'll be throwing pieces, wildly. So, also, I'd say imbalanced structures. Now, even if we just have a look at the normal Benoni here, you can see very quickly how different the position gets as you just play a few moves there. So we can even just play the full-on Benoni here. So it's something like this. Now, if you just have a look at how aggressive white is compared to how defensive black is, you can see the imbalance there can be. Even if we just go from this position here, you can see the attack versus defense. And also, as we said here, white doesn't really need to play positional chess, now more just attacking chess, and as black, I'd be obviously playing positional chess, though quietly manoeuvring all your pieces ready for war. Now, this is quite a difficult opening, so again, use this video, hopefully it helped, and then I would say go on to each variation that you prefer. So I went through 3 variations. There is a few more, I think, but these I think are the 3 that you should probably at least try out and give a go, as you might like one variation over the other. But always, learn by yourself as well, is what I'll try to say here, is that you can learn an opening on YouTube here, but then I would try it out against, a chess.com bot, a live chess or lead chess engine, all of those that have that now, and just keep trying out stuff. Now, I know there's other websites out there as well now that, you can play openings against. It tells you and everything like that. So, that was the Benoni Defence. Hopefully you enjoyed that opening. So, thank you, and bye-bye.